What is up, guys? Doing another build video, and today we're taking a look at Bonnie, the gambler of the Payday gang. So in the first build of the video, we're going to be using a character-themed build, primarily using the over-under 12 gauge Jocelyn outfitted with a team boost stat modifier, the ammo pouch stock, and also using triple-aught buckshot ammo. Using the Street Sweeper HE secondary, and I believe using the long barrel and the King's Crown compensator. Of course, we're using the Rivertown Glen bottle, and we're using the Javelin throwable, ICTV, and first aid kits. Of course, we're going to be using the Gambler perk deck, and I'll talk a little bit about that during the video. And now, take a look at our skills here. Of course, using Upper's Ace because Gambler's survivability is pretty bad and you can't take more than a handful of shots before you die. So, you gotta have a little bit of that extra bit of support. Of course, lots of shotgun skills because I'm only using shotguns. Of course, getting up to Iron Man Aced so that I have ICTV, Scavenger Aced so that enemies will drop extra ammo boxes, which of course helps Gambler because it is all about picking up ammo drops. Of course, I also used Shockproof Ace because I always get that skill pretty much. Second one basic because I had a spare point, and got up to Frenzied Ace so that we can do a bit more damage. Now this does hurt our health survivability to a degree. However, due to the nature of these weapons, Frenzy was almost necessary in order to do the damage that I needed to do, especially without crits or silencers or anything like that. Alright, so now, without further ado, we'll go ahead and take a look at this first build. So my first issue with Gambler isn't the fact that the amount of health you get from the ammo pickups is particularly bad or low. It's simply the fact that the amount of health you pick back up in the cooldowns and so forth don't compensate for the amount of health you lose on higher difficulties. Of course, we've talked about this in previous videos. If you balance for higher difficulties, you run the risk of making the perk deck just ridiculously broken on lower difficulties, which is a balancing issue, and it's something that, of course, game developers themselves should look at and try to work around before they implement something into the game so that you don't put yourself into a situation like that. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not a game developer. I don't know the ins and outs of balancing things. I just play it as it is, and I can tell if it's good or not, essentially. Gambler can be fun to use as a team perk deck. However, it's not particularly strong. The amount of health that you get back, or that you get back from your teammates, rather, isn't stellar. It's handy, and your teammates will thank you, kind of like your teammate that plays Maniac, who you thank whenever he's alive, but then as soon as he goes down, like every 5 seconds on one down, you're wondering why he didn't pick a slightly better perk deck for himself. It's fun every now and again, and it can be usable with a well-coordinated team if you're playing just right and stuff like that, but it will never be as strong as some of the other perk decks. And that's okay, you know. Not all the perk decks are going to be on equal ground all the time, and all that good stuff. So the problem with Gambler, of course, is the fact that it doesn't have what I refer to as cushion. It doesn't have a very strong defensive option. Yes, it does allow you to get health back, but past getting health back and possibly a little bit of ammo back too, I think. I'm not sure. I didn't look back over the perk deck before I made the video. I just kind of picked it up and ran with it. But I think it gives you a little bit of ammo back, or maybe it gives it to your teammates. I can't quite remember. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, the bonuses that it gives you, although decent, aren't great for keeping yourself alive. Better for keeping your teammates alive, but it's definitely more of a support perk deck, and terrible for solo play, as far as I'm concerned. And in most circumstances on one down, I think it has a very niche use, but past its extremely niche use, I don't think it's very good. But of course, you know, if you take something out of its niche, is it going to be very good? One thing that makes this particular run, even though this is a really easy heist, as I'm sure all of you are fully aware, what makes this run a little bit difficult is the fact that, well, one, I'm washed up because I haven't played in months. I haven't been recording videos or anything like that. And then, Also the weapon selection. The HE Street Sweeper is really good for not even really killing a bunch of the enemies, but just knocking them off their feet. It's extremely useful for that. You'll see me use it once or twice to blow all the enemies off their feet so I can run out and pick up the ammo. The Jocelyn, I spend more time reloading it than I do shooting it, and the amount of kills, or yeah, the amount of shots I have to spend per kill I get is pretty skewed. So overall the Jocelyn isn't super effective on one down as far as I'm concerned. I just terribly missed that cloaker right there. And the reason I was originally going to bring Molotovs, but I needed something to kill dozers reliably, and the Jocelyn just was not doing it for me. So I had to bring the Javelins in order to even get past the dozers, because they just kept repeatedly killing me before I could kill them with Jocelyn. It was pretty bad. I'm also using first aid kits, of course, so that I can prevent myself from going down. Gambler doesn't have the nice cushion that something like Anarchist or Rogue or anything like that would, so definitely not as reliable defensively. Have to have something to prevent myself from going down in circumstances where I get caught with my pants down or the enemies just rush me or whatever. Speaking of enemies rushing me, I also am using Full Speed Swarm, the mod that if you're subscribed to Kenzo or if you've seen any of his recent videos, you may be a little bit familiar with it. I am using the settings that he uses on his FSSMax runs, so it's on nervous gameplay, the enemies are set to aggressive state, and a few other things. Cop actions don't have any delays between them or anything like that. There is a difference to some degree with cop reaction time, but it's not so much that it's ridiculous. But FSS, in combination with the kind of blah weapon selection, combined with the fact that I'm using Gambler, even on this easy heist, it's a bit daunting, which you'll see in a few different instances. Sadly, I don't know, I really wanted the Jocelyn to be a bit better, but I just couldn't find any way to make it a bunch better. I was experimenting using AP slugs and using it as a shield killer, kind of as like a 2-round sniper rifle, but then my secondary weapon had to be my primary way of killing, and then I was lacking other things, and then it just became a big fiasco. Overall, this weapon, or not this weapon in particular, but like this weapon setup just really isn't excellent. You can definitely have a better primary. The secondary is fine. I think the HE Street Sweeper is good in its own right and good for clearing out enemies and things of that nature, but the Jocelyn is just kind of meh. I was originally going to try to hit that medic with the with the Javelin, but then the taser got me and I ended up killing him with the Jocelyn anyway. I thought that was kind of funny. Trying to just play peekaboo with these guys because they weren't wanting to come around the counter, which is understandable. It'd be a very bad tactical decision unless they all just flooded me. Another moment where I'm running out here to try to pick up all this ammo. I'm running low on Jocelyn fuel. Jocelyn fuel? Yeah, fuel. There we go. I think in terms of other perk decks, I would... where would I put Gambler? I don't think it's as bad as Biker. Biker sucks. Definitely one of my least favorite perk decks, period. I'm not really sure. It's hard to gauge because of... I don't know, some have niche uses and things like that. I believe at this point I only have a few more of these videos left to do until I cover all the characters. So I have, this was Bonnie, I have Scarface left, I have Jimmy left, and I have Euro left. Euro, whatever. I think that's it, actually. Cool, I'm a lot closer to finish with these than I thought I was. This last bit of the video has kind of just turned more into a usual update as opposed to me actually talking. There really wasn't a whole lot to talk about Gambler. It's just not that great. That's the TLDR. I don't know how back, quote unquote, I'm going to be. I might upload from time to time. I might be uploading a bunch and then not uploading a lot, and then just kind of fluctuating a lot here and there. I'm not 100% sure. The difficulty level that everybody has pushed themselves to, with Stryler and Kenzo doing all sorts of crazy stuff while I've been gone, has set the bar really high, and I don't know if I'm up to the challenge, but we'll see. I've also been wanting to do more stealth stuff too, but it doesn't seem to get as much love on the channel as loud stuff does, which is understandable. Stealth is just a different kind of challenge. It's more of a challenge of patience, I guess. So the last part of this I was worried about was trying to get out to the helicopter. And, yeah, the helicopter part goes really bad. Unless I just waited for another wave, which was going to take who even knows how long, and I was starting to get a little rough on ammo. I was slowly losing the battle of attrition. I was also losing the battle of patience pretty hard as well. But I think at one point I just get impatient and just make a run for it because I'm tired of sitting around. Or no, that's what happens. Never mind. I got caught reloading the Jocelyn. Oh, that's even worse. Well, anyway, guys, that was my gambler build. And as usual, thank you so much for watching.